Okay, so going through Maths Numeracy Unit 2, Calculator Allowed, Intermediate Tier, May 2018 questions, questions 1 to 6. So starting with question 1, in a survey 720 students were asked if they preferred to take part in gym activities, team sports or individual sports. They were asked to choose just one of these options. The results are in this pie chart here. How many students selected individual sports? Circle your answer. So there are 720 students altogether, and individual sports is this slice of the pie chart here. This slice of the pie chart here is the equivalent of a quarter of the pie chart. So a quarter of 720 people would mean that we had 180 people choosing individual sports. Question B. Carwyn plans to split team sports on the pie chart into football and other team sports. Of the students who selected team sports, 2/5 said they preferred team sports was actually football. What angle should Carwyn draw to represent football? So you need to measure the angle here with a protractor, because this has been drawn accurately. So if you measure this angle here with a protractor for team sports, you will find that this angle is 135 degrees. And as you can see, it says 2/5 said that they liked football. So if we take 2/5 of the 135 degrees that is there for team sports on the calculator, using that fraction key to allow you to put 2/5 in and then multiply, we're going to get 54 degrees for football, and then the other part of the angle would be left over for the other team sports. Question C. 720 students took part in the survey. Only 45% were female. How many males took part? You've got two options. Work out how many females there are and then take it away from 720, or jump straight into the fact that there would be 55% that were male. And on my calculator, that will give me 55% as a decimal, multiplied by 720, or using that percentage key. So up to you, but we're looking for 396 males. Type it into the calculator. Don't do 10%, don't do 5%. Use this and type it into the calculator. It makes your life a lot easier. Question 2. Miss Price has received her total bill for water. It is based on estimates of how much fresh water is used and how much wastewater is produced. Her bill is £58.80. Miss Price's actual use of water was as follows: fresh and waste. Fresh water costs, so they're linked, fresh water and then wastewater. In this part of the question, you'll be assessed on your OCW, organisation, communication and writing. So making sure that for every calculation that you do, it has a label, making sure that there's logic to the order that you do the calculations, and making sure that you remember to include units, be it pounds, be it pence, for every calculation that you do. By how much was Miss Price Stevens been overcharged or undercharged? She was charged, don't forget, £58.80. You must show all your workings out. So let's concentrate on the fresh water. So I'm going to label it here, fresh water, so that they know. Charge in pounds, so I can be really specific. 25.25 is the amount that she used, multiplied by £1.08 gives me £27.27. So there's my freshwater calculation. Just underneath that, wastewater charge, again in pounds, and there's going to be 22.31 used, 1.70 cost, £37, well, 37.927, and I'm going to round that to 37.93, and I'm going to put there that I've rounded it to 2 decimal places, or the equivalent of nearest penny. Okay, so that's the 2 individual prices. So now I'm going to label here total charge or total cost. I'm going to write down the adding up sum, even though I'm doing it on the calculator, to show where my workings out have come from, and it's in pounds again, and that's going to be £65.20. Right, so she paid £58.80, so this is an undercharge, and that's significant because it says by how much is she undercharged or overcharged, so I have to specify that this is undercharged, and then my undercharging in pounds will be £65.20, take away £58.80, which gives me an undercharge of £6.40. Okay, you've got to state whether it's an undercharge and the amount. Look how I've organised it. That's going to give me 2 extra marks for just including these labels and explaining my calculations. Here's my units, my pounds, to tell you that all my calculations have been done in pounds, and the logical order. So I went through them in the order they were given: fresh, waste, and then my grand total. Part B. Remember that 1 metre cubed is the same as 220 gallons. Okay, what are we doing with this? Use this conversion to calculate how much fresh water Miss Price has used in gallons. So the fresh water was 25.25. I can see that from above. And that was 22.25 metres cubed of water. So if I multiply that by the 220 they've told me that I need, that's going to give me on my calculator 5,555. Okay. Part 2. Explain why your answer to Part B is not the exact number of gallons that she's used. So explain why this answer is not. And you'll notice that here there are a pair of wavy equal signs, and that's to do with the fact that this is an approximation. Okay, so a suitable reason that I could put here is that the conversion was only approximate, and just showing that I understand what that means. Question 3. Emir, Layla and Reese are going shopping together for fruit. They buy pears and apples from the market store. Emir buys 3 pears and 1 apple, £1.22. Layla buys 3 apples, 78 pence. And Reese buys 5 pears and 2 apples. How much will Reese receive from £5? How much change will Reese receive from £5 when he pays for his 5 pears and 2 apples? Okay, so I need to work out the cost of an apple and the cost of a pear. Apples is where we're going to start, because these 3 apples here, come to a grand total of 78 pence. So I can start with Layla's apples. That's 78 pence shared between the 3 apples means that one apple is 26 pence each. So each one of the apples in each picture is 26 pence each. Then if I look at the top line for Emir, I can see up here that Emir's 26 pence apple, along with then 3 pears, comes to a total of 122. So if I take out the 26 pence apple, 122, take away the 26 pence, that's going to come to £96 that he's paid for the pears. And then if I take, like before that, 96 pence and I share it 3 ways, then I'll have the cost of 1 pear. And 1 pear costs 32 pence. So each of these pears is worth 32. So by looking at Reese's purchase, I can see that Reese has actually paid 5 lots of 32 pence for all the pears. That's £1.60. And 2 lots of 26 pence for the apples. So Reese's total bill comes in at £2.12p. Or if you've done it in pence, 212 pence. Now we want to know the change that Reese is going to get from £5. So on my calculator, £5 take away £2.12, £2.88 change from £5, £2.88. Question 4. Caris has to write a report on the water levels of the River Tad. She has recorded the depth of water in the River Tad between 1 p.m. and 7 p.m. and this is shown on the graph. What was the greatest recorded depth of water in the river? And I have to circle my answer. So here on the graph I can see the greatest depth of the water, and here on the graph if I go across, if I go across, I can see that we're hitting 48. So that's the one that I'm going to circle, 48 centimetres. Question B. In which of these 15-minute periods was the depth of water increasing most rapidly? And that's a specific part of the graph, a specific characteristic. Circle your answer. So as I'm looking at this graph now, I'm looking for it increasing most rapidly. As I look, the steeper the graph, the faster the increase. So this is quite a shallow part of the graph. It's not happening here. This is steeper, so this is having a faster increase, but neither of those are my focus area. Here, the very beginning of the graph is where we can see the fastest increase. So of the options, we're going to be circling the 115 to the 130. It's the steepest part of the graph, which shows that we have rapid increase. Part C. Caris looks at the part of the graph for the period 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Describe what this tells her about the river. Between 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. Here's between 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. And instead of there being a rapid increase, this would be what we call a decrease. So what does that tell us about the river? So we could simply say for 1 mark, the water level drops. Or we could say the depth of the water goes down. The depth is decreasing. Depth of the water is decreasing. The water level is decreasing. There's quite a few explanations, but we've got the water level drops. decreases. Part D. For what period of time was the depth of the water in the river greater than 45 centimetres? So for what period of time was the depth in the water greater than 45 centimetres? Well, 45 centimetres is happening here. So for what length of time were we up here? Higher than the graph. So we start to be above that 45 centimetre mark here. And then we drop down below it there. Okay, so we've got 5 different options, and this is closest to being an hour. So we're going to circle the hour. Question 5. Mina is going on holiday. She hasn't decided where to go yet. In a travel brochure, Mina sees a pictogram showing the holiday destinations of 9,700 people. And we can see there, for 9,700 people, quite a lot of suitcases. But what's missing from part A is the key to know how many people are represented by a suitcase, because there's not 9,000 suitcases. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. There are 23 full cases, and then these 2 half cases make it up to 24. But then I still got that quarter of a case that I haven't counted. So 24 and a quarter, 24.25 cases altogether. So if I take that 9,700 people and I share it between all of the cases, this is going to tell me that we have 400 people per case. 400 people in every one of these cases as you're looking at the diagram. Okay. Part B. What is the following ratio in its simplest form? The number of people who went to Spain to the number of people who went to the USA. So the number of people who went to Spain, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 full cases. The number of people who went to the USA, 1, 2, 3, 4 full cases. So 6 full cases to 4 full cases. But it says here in its simplest form. So I can't just take the 6 by 4, because 6 to 4 as a ratio can be cancelled down. We can actually say that can be halved, divided by 2, that can be halved. So 3 to 2 would be the same ratio, but in its simplest form. Part C. Look at the pictogram. The ratio of the number of people who went to Wales to the number of people who went to another country is 2 to 3. Which country is this? 2 to Wales, 2 to Wales, and 3 to the other country. So these cases here represent 2 portions of my sharing. So those cases there represent the 2 for Wales and 3 for another country. So 1, 2, 3 and a half. 3.5 is the same as having the 2 shares for Wales, and we want to know, let me draw some boxes for you. 2 for Wales, and then 3 for the other country. Badly drawn, sorry about that. And the 2 for Wales was worth 3.5. So in each box is a 1.75. But for the other country, they've got 3 boxes. So each one of their boxes is also worth 1.75. And they've got 3 of them. 1.75 times 3 we're looking for a country that's got 5.25 boxes. So 5.25 boxes would be for Italy. Look how the bar modelling allows you to see how much is in each individual box. As soon as I know that 3.5 is 2 boxes, I can shade it out. And the other country that we're looking at is Italy. Part D. Mina goes on holiday to France. She takes €590 with her on holiday. Mira only spends 40%. When she returns from holiday, she exchanges her remaining euros for pounds. The exchange rate is £1 is 1.18 euros. How many pounds does Mina receive? Okay, she only spends 40%, so she's bringing 60% back that she didn't spend. Okay, so 60% of the €590 would mean that she's bringing back €354 and changing it back into pounds. Every pound is worth 1.18 or €1.18. So we need to now take that €354 and see how many 1.18s would fit in there, or how many we can take out, because that's going to tell us how many pounds we're going to get. And we're going to get £300. Question 6. Grace sees a newspaper advert for Blake's mopeds, and you can see that it says best deal. Valid if you show this advertisement. Moped 400, helmet £80. We offer 15% off this price. Other costs payable are insurance and vehicle tax. Grace is planning to save for this offer. She also wants to save money for her first month's fuel. The moped travels 20 miles on each litre of fuel, and a litre of fuel costs $1.26. Lots of information here. 20 miles on a litre, and a litre costs $1.26. Grace estimates that she travels 350 miles a month on her moped. Starting this month, Grace will be able to save £60. After how many complete months, that's important, will Grace have saved enough money for this offer, including the first month's fuel? You must show all your workings. Okay, this is a 6-mark question. There's a lot going on. Right, so costs are, first of all, let's work out the cost of the helmet. The helmet is offered at a 15% discount, so I only have to pay 85% of the cost of that helmet, which means I'm getting that helmet for a bargain price of £68. Fuel for 1 month, okay, is going to cost me £1.26 a litre, and we're going to have to do that for 350 miles, knowing that every 20 miles is going to be a whole litre. So 350 shared into 20s will tell you how many litres you need to buy, and they cost £1.26 each. I'm typing that straight into my calculator to find out that that's £22.05. So the total of all costs is going to be the £400 to buy the bike, and the £151.20 for insurance, the £37 for the tax, £68 for the helmet, £22.05 for the fuel. And putting that into my calculator, that big long sum, that's going to cost me £678.25 to start riding the moped. Right, so now I know how much she's got to save, and I know she's saving £60 every month. So, save £678.25 shared into payments of £60 means that I'm going to have 11 point something, 11.3 months I'm going to say. But because it tells me that I've got to save for complete months, I'm going to have to save in that 12th month, and I'll just have a little bit left over. So I need to round it up, even though 11.3 looks like it's going to round down. So Grace needs to save for 12 months to be able to afford it. And after the 12 months, she's got enough money with a little bit extra, because that 11.3 tells me that she'll have too much.